Welcome to another episode of B2B R&D Conversations. I'm Ellen Williams, CEO and co-founder of B2B R&D, joined by my co-founder and COO, Craig Yaris. And today we're going to be covering the topic of apps. And what we've been finding online on all the things we're reading is the increased popularity of apps, but also some of the dark side, so to speak, of apps that we talked about last week, which is the click fraud and the app hijacking. But that seems to be really a lesser focus as apps are becoming more and more popular, both because of their usability and because of the amount of advertising that are happening on apps right now. So I know, Craig, you've had some good conversations with me about this. Give us your take on what's going on in the world of apps right now.
Well, I think for the most part, there's a proliferation of apps. Every company, every brand is trying to get their space on people's mobile phones. And that's really, we're talking about mobile apps, not desktop specifically. And everyone is trying to get that coveted space on your phone. Not only because it's real estate that's near and dear to a person's heart, but because they get data from it. They get usability data, how often you use the app, what other apps you're using. I know Google, to my knowledge, is very big on sharing that data. Apple, a little less so. But it's also putting in front of you advertising, marketing. Because these free apps, they're not free. You have those ads that they hope you're going to click through. And I will admit, on the free apps that I have occasionally clicked on ads that I didn't intend to click on.
Yeah, so have I. I think that's the nature of the beast, so to speak.
Yes, but I think that goes to a problem with that model. There's an advertiser paying for my click when I had no interest. And all of a sudden now I'm tagged with an interest in the game Clash of Clans, when in reality I have no interest. And they seem to be one of the big ones within most free apps. They have an ad in most free apps that I've noticed, and games of that type. It's a great way to get in touch with your customers. It seems, I think research that I had seen and we had talked about was apps are fine, but it's getting people to engage with them. It's the notifications. Exactly. When you allow the app to talk to you, they find engagement is higher and actually return on investment tends to be higher.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Now, you mentioned game apps, and certainly those are very popular. But from a business perspective, you have the opportunity to advertise on those. But I think the bigger opportunity here is for businesses to have their own apps. And certainly, I've downloaded a couple business apps. I have, I can bank, I can do email marketing, I can do some CRM on my phone. I also have Office 365. So it's more than just the gaming. And also to your point on the advertising, without a doubt, there are those errors with your clicking the ad you weren't really interested in, and then all of a sudden now you're getting more targeted ads toward the one you clicked on. But I think you clarified that pretty well last week, that there's always that element, and they are looking at how long you stay on the site or the app that you clicked. But I think the popularity of apps, and not just games or businesses, but really back to what you said, getting in touch with the customer. So who's your customer? Knowing your customer, you're laughing already. So we recently purchased Captain Crunch, right?
Oh,
and
I didn't see it was Crunch Berries. Even better.
Well, yeah, this is Crunch. I don't want to get into it. I have no young children. This is not that I ate this. Not that I don't like it. I just didn't eat it. So on the back, there's a way to scan the code with your mobile device, typically, your smartphone. And once you have done that, there's actually an animation of Captain Crunch, and they say he comes to life, which my husband found very amusing. And as we went through this, he actually grabbed his phone and did it, and and then from the living room I hear Captain Crunch speaking to my husband. But typical customer for Captain Crunch is, I would suspect is not an adult. So it's a really unique use of an app that utilizes a product that's, a tangible product that I went to the store to buy, but also targeting a very young demographic who are very adept at using mobile devices. And that's certainly a different conversation, the pros and cons of that. But it really just comes down to the reality. So the expansion of apps and the connection with the customer, because that truly is on the back of the cereal box, everything that marketing is moving toward, which is the right customer at the right time, at the right moment, the micro moments, the moments, everyone's starting to talk about these. And so when you put the opportunity to engage with your app physically in my hand of the person who's purchased your product, I mean, I just that was really smart marketing to me.
Absolutely. My question though is, are you actually downloading an app, or is that just accessing your browser to play with Captain Crunch? Because I want to know for the conversation, but I also want to know because I'm hoping you'll hold the box up when we're done and I can do it. But that's neither here nor there. I think brands will run into a problem eventually that will be over-appified, that there'll be an app for everything, and all of a sudden our 64 gig iPhone isn't big enough, and we've got notifications screaming at us from every single app we have, thereby desensitizing us to anything.
Well, but only the apps that we've chosen, right? So instead of searching the internet and finding the website of the store we want to online shop at and being bombarded with ads throughout the search and on the website that may be irrelevant, maybe a search I did 2 months ago and I purchased that and I don't want that product anymore, but I keep getting ads. Now I have apps that, if we're talking about those that don't have ads because maybe they are more consumer based, I'm getting notifications from apps I've personally downloaded, and I'm capable of saying I'm still in your market.
True.
And I think that's, one of the topics in our email this week was permission-based. And I think that goes right into that. If I'm downloading your app, that's full-blown permission, and I am self-selecting to be part of your marketing campaigns.
Very true. That is, you couldn't, I don't think anybody could have said it better. We are telling them that, we talk permission-based, and email marketing is permission-based, and text marketing is permission-based. You don't get more permission than us taking that overt action to download your app. You just don't. Now, the action, oh, sorry.
So besides filling my phone, is this an explosion now? Not that apps weren't popular, but now that there's actual ROI really being associated with them, and it's not just the games. Am I going to expect that everywhere I shop in person or online, eventually I'm going to have sort of the door to that store on my phone in the form of an app?
I do think the answer is yes, and I think it goes even further than that. The technology that's out there, I believe Apple refers to it as the Ibeacon technology, which basically is a Bluetooth connection between the app and the physical location. So when you walk by Macy's, you're going to get a notification on your phone that says, hey, remember that shirt you searched for last week? We have it on sale for $24.99. So it's the immediacy, the connection, the almost...
it's a local push.
Yes, yes.
Like a lot of the local searches, where if I'm searching for something near me, being able to tap into that has value.
Absolutely.
So now you're saying that stores or brick and mortar, anything can bypass that by having their own direct connection?
Yes, they can. It's a little bit scary to think about downloading the Macy's app. I don't even. I imagine Macy's has an app. I don't know.
Right.
But
I don't know.
I've got the Chipotle app on my phone. My wife and I order Chipotle every so often direct from the app. We don't have to do anything. Show up, pick it up. If they were to take,
I have the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. In fact, years ago, I'm going to go back to 2008. 1,000 years ago. I had a Palm Trio back then.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, I love that. I still have them somewhere. And I went to a Dunkin' Donuts in Levittown, and I got a message on my phone that says, the Dunkin' Donuts store would like to communicate with you by Bluetooth. Will you accept? And I said yes. I figured, what the heck? And I got a coupon while I'm standing online for, 2 free donuts just by being in the location. And this was back in 2008. So
wow.
Imagine what is possible today, 7 years later. The amount of data we share, the amount of data we have available on our phones. We talked about Google having their, I can't remember what it was called offhand, but where you can go back and see exactly where you've gone in the last 24 hours, the last month, the last year, what stores you went to.
Your trip? Is it your trip or something like that?
Something like that. And so all that data is there. It's there for the taking. So there's a nice deep connection through apps. My Starbucks app knows what I like and how often I'm there and probably what I order.
Yeah, and that really is, and that's the difference between utilizing, say, Google to search for where the local Starbucks is, and then buying in as a loyal customer to download an app that you're developing that relationship directly with the organization that you're buying from.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
and
powerful stuff.
Yeah, and those relationships will only get deeper, I think, over time.
I think so too. So, so that wraps up another conversation today on mobile apps. Thanks for joining us. If you have any comments, please leave them below, or you can email us directly at ewilliams@B2B R&D or cyaris@B2B R&D, and we hope you join us again sometime soon.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
So, popular demand allowed us to create this bonus material, and upon inspection, the Captain Crunch app, you actually need to download the Blipper app, and then once you've got that on your mobile device, you simply scan in. Let me get this right.
And we're going to be doing this live. I've downloaded the app, so it did it quick, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've got a face that could launch 1,000 ships, and I'm looking at a face that could win $10,000, and that's you.
And
yay!
So, and that's what it did, but I don't know what else it does, but I do have Captain Crunch here.
Yeah, and what we didn't mention, actually, because we were talking about apps, is if you don't do the download, you can actually take a picture of the flag and then tweet it.
Oh, okay.
Or put it on Instagram. So there's a couple different ways to enter the sweepstakes.
And I can actually play with it a little bit. Oops. Oh, see, if I click on it, it says win one of 5 $10,000 prizes.
There you go.
No purchase necessary. Cut out the flag on the back and share a picture of yourself.
Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram with a hashtag.
Or they actually give you you could do it on the website. So for those of, the kids that
covering all the digital bases.
Exactly. There we go.
All right. We didn't want to leave our viewers hanging, so
Say bye,
thanks
Captain
for
Crunch.
hanging around through the bonus material here.
Bye, Captain Crunch.
Bye.